We are still working and talking in our consistency pillar of dog training, and it tends to be a difficult one as far as like, this is how you be consistent, or, you know, the education of, you know, what consistency is and the importance of it. And so I think that it's sometimes a little bit abstract, and some of these are actually, our next one is a little bit abstract as well. And so the easiest way for us to help people understand is to talk about some of the cases that we have. And so I had a phone call this week from one of my clients that their little adolescent boxer boy, he decided that a wine cork was incredibly valuable, and he was going to hold on to it. And so the owner went over, and he hadn't, you know, there was no concerns of anything. He had they really followed the rules overall in general, but he had no worries of going over and taking this wine cork from him, and Woody decided he was just going to hold on to it, and he was not letting go. So the owner just kind of grabbed his scruff so he could get a hold of him, so we weren't playing the chase game, and he was confined in an office. And Woody just flipped out on him, just all teeth, all feet, just coming at him. And so at that point, then he put him just to restrain him so he would stop coming at him. And then he finally got to a point, he had a leash on him. So it's, you know, he had everything that we've talked about, keep the leash on, he finally got in a position to get him into a restraint down to at least get himself prepared. And Woody was not willing to surrender into that position. And so he finally got in a position that he could grab his leash, keep him away from him, and the whole time Woody's just at him, got him into his crate and put him into his crate. And, you know, it's pretty fearful from an owner standpoint when a dog goes through that. Yeah. And it's stuff that you deal with all the time with Louie, with, you know, his little rages, and people forget that once they get there, they're not thinking. No. Like, they're aware.
Well, it's
but
not,
they're not thinking.
Your dog anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you're like so primal, like, this is mine, is just where they are. This is mine. You can't have it. You can't touch it. I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah.
You're not the boss of me.
Right.
And it's not anymore your like lovely, sweet dog that likes to go on a walk and cuddle with you in bed. It's all that they are like is mine, 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 until they calm down. Right. And then they're like, oh, hi. Yeah. What were we doing? Right. It's like, it's a totally, like, snap of the finger, change, shift, change right back. Yeah. And they like lose their mind and they're consumed by this primal rage that's like, no, mine.
No, don't touch it. Yeah. I think that, you know, it's hard to explain to people that that's normal. Yeah, because it's scary. Yeah. It's really, really scary. Yep. And when you love your dog, it hurts your feelings because you're like, well, why would you bite me, or why, like, because they're like really would like try to kill you. Like, you know what I mean? Rip your arm off, whatever. Depends on the size of the dog, how successful they are. Yeah. But it hurts their feelings that they love the dog and they take care of it and they cuddle at night and they play and they have this really good time, and then their dog goes to this place where they can't be reasoned with, and their focus is to keep you away from whatever they want by hurting you. Yeah, it's a very emotional thing, and it is normal. And the important thing that we teach in the realm of consistency is teaching the dog what a restraint down is. That it's not you don't need to go even more mad. It's a settling point. And that was one piece that they really, in their training overall, that they haven't been consistent at. That teaching him that position is a position of settle. It's okay, I understand. Get yourself together, let's get your brain back, and then it's typically done. But when they don't teach that to the dog, and they don't teach that desensitization and that settling piece, it just escalates the dog.
Because the dog feels like you're returning their attack.
Yeah, yep.
It's not, really what it is like, you're just going to stay here until you calm down.
Yep.
Everyone's going to live through it, and nothing bad's going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
And after we're calm, we just go back to our normal life.
Yep.
Like, that's what you're teaching. But if you don't do it consistently, then it's like the dog bites you and then you're holding it down. And then the dog's like, no, they think it's part of this fight that you're having over whatever it is.
Yeah. And so we, our lesson yesterday was really about the consistency of the restraint down, so that he can learn to surrender into that, and that he will accept that position when you need it. Because I've seen it in him a handful of times through the training, and when he's been here for training, and I've told him over and over, you need to do this every day. And then if he's misbehaving in little spurts, then plop him over, put him into it so you can manage it. So then when something big happens, if it does, he knows what that is. And I find that that's something that's really hard for people to be consistent at with doing that, because they don't see it, they don't understand the whole thing until something like this happens, and they're like, yeah, we need to be doing that every day.
Well, and too, the thing that's hard about it from experience is you don't know how long it will take your dog to calm down. Like when you start and when they have a big flare of a tantrum, you don't know how long it'll take. Like, you could be getting ready to go to work and have it, and then put them in the restraint down, and you could be there for 2 hours.
Yep.
You know, like by doing it every day, you're hoping that it'll only be like 15 minutes.
Right.
But if you're not doing it all the time, it could be 2 hours. It could be more. It depends really on your dog and the situation. So I think, like, as a person that does this, you're like, oh, I just don't have time to do this for 45 minutes right now. You know, and it's not like exactly a pleasant thing that you want to do either. Once your dog's used to it, it's fine. You know, because they're just like, what are you doing? You know. But to get to that point is difficult.
It can be, for sure.
And also because you can also have emotions involved in it, you know. And you sometimes don't want to go there emotionally.
Yep, for sure. I think that it's, I think Melissa creates a very Zen piece to it, where it's this, we're going to your Zen place, we're helping you relax, we're helping you get into this zone, and I think it's a great way to describe it to people. But it would really be like, for me, if somebody locked me in a room with nothing to do, nothing that I wanted to do.
Well, it's like if you have like a 2-year-old and you're like, you sit in the corner until you can be good, right? And then when they stop crying, they can come out of the corner or whatever, you know, whatever you do. With send your kid to their room and stuff. Like that's what it is.
And it's but it's hard to physically, like, dogs are physical. They're you know, they read you physically. They're a very physical animal. And so, and they want the touch either for reassurance or to feed into their whatever. And so with, you know, where kids, even at a young age, we can go, nope, you're going to sit right here and we're going to talk about, nope, you're going to sit right, you know, and you do have to put them back there. But we forget that this dog is not a human being. And you have to force that in a very pleasant way. And the way we teach it is actually a very relaxing. It's tough. You have some battles, and I just call it, we're getting out the garbage, so that you can just completely surrender and accept it. And if you do it over and over, and you continue to do it over, I mean, there's time, I mean, with my own dogs, and as they become seniors, we still do that. Chianti typically has no problems with her nails being dremelled, and sometimes she's like, no, we're not going to do that. And we're like, yep. And then we just pop over, she's like, oh, yep, we're going to do it, you know. And it's just something that you do their whole life, that you check them out, you can, you know, you can wrap their feet, you can take care of medical problems in that position. And so if you just keep it up, they really accept it and understand that it's just a settling position, and that I'll keep you safe.
Yeah, and it really helps for medical things.
Oh, for
a
sure.
lot, because medical things are usually irritating
Uh-huh.
or mildly unpleasant
Yep.
for
Yep.
the dog,
Right,
you know.
right.
Just like, when we go to the dentist, like
Yeah.
nobody wants to go to the dentist.
Right.
Like we don't like it. It's not pleasant,
Right.
but we have to go to take
Yeah.
care of our teeth, right?
Yeah.
That's the same for the dog.
Yeah.
Like they don't really like it. It doesn't hurt you, but you just don't like it, right?
Yeah.
And if you teach them that they can be calm and relaxed while you do that stuff to them, it turns that into a better experience.
Right. Yep.
For the dog,
Yep.
where they don't feel like that they have to defend themselves or know what you're doing or
Right.
know that's my toes or know that's my ear. You know, they can
exactly.
be like, I can be relaxed and just let you
Yeah.
go ahead and do whatever.
Right.
Because you know it's helping them.
Yeah.
And by teaching them that they can be calm, then they know.
Yeah,
that it's
exactly.
helping them.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that, really from restraint downs to training to, the routine of a crate to the feeding, staying consistent with it. And, we say, I hear people all the time say, well, they just get bored with it. And dogs really don't get bored with it. It's you that gets bored with it. And you lose purpose to it. And that's really what happens in the restraint down is you plan for an hour. And, well, what do I do for an hour? I don't know, turn the TV on, listen to a podcast, something through that you're the one that gets bored with it. There's a lot of purpose to everything that we have our dogs do, and they thrive and want that purpose. And so in our pillar of consistency, I think it's hard for people because they get bored with it.
Well, it's opposite for the dog.
Yes.
The dog gets bored when it doesn't have structure.
Right.
Even though you don't think making them lie on their bed and sleep while you do your work is structure,
Yeah.
it is
sure
for the
is.
dog. And if you don't have these rules of things like that they have to
Yeah.
do during the day,
Yeah.
that's when they get bored.
Right.
And then they try to entertain themselves
Right.
by doing something you don't
Yeah.
want them to
Right.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Roll the toilet paper all over the house, get in the garbage can,
Yeah.
chase the cat around,
Right.
whatever, because they're like, oh, I'm bored, gotta
Yeah.
find something interesting.
Yep.
But if you provide them the structure,
Right.
even though you think it's boring,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what the dog wants.
Right.
That's
That's
entertaining
really what
the
they're
dog.
looking. Yeah, they're looking for that. Give
Yeah.
me something, or I'll go be a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I in this pillar and in this podcast, stay consistent through the journey of it, because there's value in everything that you're learning, whether it's on our online dog training on More Than Sit, or you've got a trainer out there that you're working with. Stay consistent with what they're asking you to do, because there's reasons behind it. It's not just, oh, we're just going to do this. There's everything that we do and everything that we teach, there's purpose behind it in the long run.
And it affects everything.
It
Everything's
affects
all connected.
everything.
You
Yeah.
don't think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but it'll show up later.
Right. Right. So don't give up. Don't lose sight of the end goal, and don't do something because you don't think you like it or that it's not going. Because everything that we give, everything your trainers give, there's purpose to it.